Did you know that you can create a unique bridal and fan to elevate your marriage ceremony? These are the items you need: a wooden board, feathers, glue, candle glue, a ruler, sandpaper, glue, a doll face material and trimmings, scissors, and an handsaw. Stay tuned, watch this video to the end, and subscribe if you haven't. There is an handle fixed to my wooden board already, but the size is a bit bigger than what I want to work with. So I'll take a measurement of the size that I want and cut off the unwanted part using my handsaw. I choose to work with a wooden board because it is firmer, stronger and durable, but you can use a thick carton or a straw board or any base to hold your assemblage together. I spread the doll face material to get the shape of the wooden board. Then I mark out the parts that I intend to work with and cut off the unwanted parts accordingly. Remember, you will need to cover both sides of the wood. This is why I cut the material in circle. Now this is the size of the material needed for the hand fan. Let's see if the material will cover up the wooden board. Um, I'm cutting off the inner circle of the material to cover the handle of the fan. You can do this if you're working with a similar design or you want to use this exact shape. Let's feel the texture of the board. Okay, now my board is smooth on both sides. So it's time to glue the doll face material onto the wooden board to form the skeletal base for the hand fan. Carrying of a traditional hand fan by the bride is very rampant in Africa, especially in Nigeria. It is believed to have a great significance in the Nigerian culture. The traditional hand fan signifies the elegance and the gracefulness of the bride. It is also used to warn off evil from coming to the new couple on their big day and to attract good fortune to them. I ended up not using the glue gun and the candle glue because I opt for this E7000 glue instead. It works pretty well anyways. Remember the tiny cuts that I made on the inner circle? I did that to make the gluing of the doll face material to run smoothly on the wood. You have to make sure that the cloth material is glued smoothly on the wood to avoid your design from looking rough. Once you're done with one side, then you flip it over and repeat the gluing process. I have to fan it for the glue to dry fast and to speed up the process. Now I've gotten the skeletal form, it's time to introduce the feathers. Of course, you can use any type of feathers, also any color of your choice. Now I will glue the feathers on our skeletal base layer by layer. You can place as many layers as possible depending on how you want your fan to come out. Flip it over and continue the gluing process on both sides. At this point, we can already see our beautiful hand fan taking its shape, or should I say hair shape. At this point, I would like you to pause this video and subscribe if you haven't done so. The glue needs hair to dry up a bit. That's why I fan it before I continue gluing. And while you are at it, you have to adjust it from time to time to make sure that both ends align together and that you glue it very firmly. So you can see me applying this glue once more, and I have to trim the edges. Pay close attention when fixing the feathers that it is properly glued to avoid them pulling out. Apply more glue. This is a piece of the bridal lace. She wanted it on the design to show that this is a customized bridal fan. You can actually do this fan without the lace. It's just about preference. So I've attached the lace to the handle and I have to fan it to dry up bit of the glue. Once you are done with laying of the feathers, it's time to use the trimmings to seal off the leftover doll face material. I start off with fixing the trimmings from the handle. Make sure that you glue this handle very tight to avoid it losing out. Just pre-arrange the trimming on the uncovered surface to see how it will turn out. Don't add glue. Just wait until you're sure of where you want it to be, else you ruined your hard work so far. Again, you have to fix the trimmings layer by layer. Note that the trimmings is not wide in shape, hence you have to glue it in layers till it covers up the whole parts that you wish to cover. If you've been watching this video from the beginning to this point and you have a question on how I got to this stage of the design, please comment your question and I'll respond. Thank you for watching. My name is Comfort. I am an art entrepreneur and a full-time artist. I sell art supplies, I do commission works, I make decorative crafts, and also design for stage plays. Jim Cassie Channel is concerned with everything art. The world without art will be boring. Come, let's beautify the world, a space at a time. I'm happy that you stopped by. I'm sure that you've learned one or two things from this video. No knowledge is wasted. Besides, it's time you search within. You might have noticed that each time I apply glue, I'll have to fan it to dry up a bit before I fix the material. So once you apply the glue, let it dry a little bit before gluing your trimmings or feathers, as this will help the entire assemblage to stay strong without pulling out with time. I'm done fixing the trimmings. You can see the outcome. It's beautiful actually. It's time to glue the bridal lace onto the hand fan. Please note that the lace is fragile and if not properly handled can lead to its damage because of the glue. Now take a look at this. Isn't this fan beautiful? Yes, you can actually do it by yourself. Just follow the steps. At this point, one side of the fan is completed, so I'll have to flip over to the other side to repeat the same process. Welcome to this other side of the project. On this side, remember what I told you about cleaning the trimming. Take note of the covered portion that you wish to cover and cut the trimmings bit by bit. Measure it to get the actual size before adding glue to it. Remember, it is fragile. It can get ruined at any point. Let's do this, guys. Join me as we round up this project. You can see it's this entire video took me about 2 hours plus, so I had to do a whole lot of editing to trim it down to 12 minutes and a few seconds. The bride requested that I add some fashion stones to the hand fan, so that's what I'm doing now. You can see me applying the glue, then I'll wait for it to dry a bit and I go ahead to add the stones. Thank you so much for embarking on this exciting journey with me. My major is actually in drawing and painting, but I think craft has come to stay. On this note, you can suggest a craft tutorial that you want us to try out, and I'll be so glad to give it a try. Fixing stones to this bridal fan is very challenging because if it's not fixed tightly, it may fall off and that can be embarrassing. So we have to press it harder and check if it's well fixed before proceeding to the next one. Again, I have to fan it to make sure that it dries properly. All right, we are done. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. Take a look at me now. Okay, so I have to trim off the edges with my scissors. I'll just keep trimming it, although the bride may still decide to trim it a little more. Okay, this is the final stage of the whole process, and I'm so glad we made it to the final stage. We made it to this point. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Let's see our final product. It's coming out, it's coming out, it's coming out. It's so beautiful. I'm glad, I'm so glad, I'm glad we made it. Yeah, this is it. It's beautiful. Use to see if it can truly serve purpose. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned using glue gun and candle glue, but I didn't use it to the end of it. So I opted for the other glue instead. But you can still make use of your glue gun if you have it. It serves the same purpose.